Hello, my name's Stevie Kim, and this is the Italian Wine Podcast on the Road series, which means that it will be also a video feature in the Mama Jumbo Shrimp. So this is a special series we've created with Gallo and their luxury brand portfolio. We're here with Bernardino Sani. Did I pronounce?
Yes.
Oh, Sani. Yes. Okay, Sani or whatever. Sani. So Bernardino is, of course, the big cheese. He's the boss of Argiano Winery. And right now we are going to do some wine tasting from your winery.
Right.
Okay, so how many wines, first of all, how many labels do you have?
So, as you can see here, the production of Argiano wines is divided into the historical traditional wines, the Sangiovese-based wine, Rosso di Montalcino, Brunello di Montalcino Classico, Riserva di Brunello di Montalcino, and Brunello Vigna del Suolo. Plus, we do have two super Tuscan wines, the Non Confunditor, the NC, and the Solegno. So, in total, we make 6 wines, all red wines, all produced from and grapes sourced here in Argiano Estate, organic certified, and I have here a map for you.
Okay.
Just to show we are
Don't
here.
Don't test me later.
And all the vineyards are surrounding us. The red is the Sangiovese, so the main production.
So it's all red.
The main production is Sangiovese, yes. Of course, being in Montalcino.
So give us a little bit of a backgrounder. When did Argiano Winery start? From the very, very beginning. Just give us a brief timeline.
The history is huge. Argiano Estate, like it is now, like as it's now, dates back to the 1580th century, and since there they were producer of grapes and wine. From the late 19th century, Argiano joined Biondisanti among a few other wineries of Montalcino in the production of the Brunello di Montalcino, when he created actually the Brunello di Montalcino. In the 1967, Argiano was one of the founders, 25 founders of Consortium del Brunello, and has been an important producer of Brunello di Montalcino. As many other wineries historically, with a lot of history, it went through different owners, different styles, different epochs, gold times, less gold times. Recently, it has been both by the Esteves family, and since 2013, it launched a lot of projects, all based on the conception of being Argiano one of the most beautiful, important historical sites of Montalcino. We also want to do some of the most terroir-driven, classic, nice expression of Montalcino wines.
So for the wine geeks out there, give us a little bit about the various microclimates in terms of altitude, exposition, and the type of soil.
So we are in the southwest side of the hill of Montalcino, around 300 meters above the sea level, facing directly the Mediterranean Sea. We do have two kinds of soils, a lower side of the estate where we have soils that are very rich in clays. Then we have a northern area that is also a little bit higher. It goes from 300 to 325 meters above the sea level, and is this one. This one is where we have the best Sangiovese for Brunello di Montalcino. Why? Because the soil here is a mixture of clays and limestones. The clays are important because they give the power to the wine, but the limestones is what gives the vertical taste, the soury feeling in the mouth, the longevity in the wine. Why there's a lot of limestones here? Because 20 million years ago, the ocean was covering all these lands. When it retired, it left a lot of shells, and now 2 meters behind us, there's still a lot of those shells, fossily, that gives a lot of limestones to the soil. If you want to go very Kiki. We did a micromap project with Pedro Parra in 2015. We micromapped all the vineyards.
Pedro Parra is a Spaniard.
Is a Chilean terroir expert. He's a geologist. He's
from Chile.
He's from Chile. He's obsessed with soils. He digs 2 meters digs, he analyzed the soil's composition, he analyzed the electroconductivity of the soils, he differentiated all the different soils, and based on that, the clones that you have there, the exposition of the vineyards, all together, it makes a micro map, a map that tells you about what are the very best of the best specific lands and vineyards that you have in your estate. This is the same map I showed you before with the different kind of soils. If we take this and we make it bigger, we go here in this part, we have the 6 best micro terroirs, micro parcels of vineyards of Sangiovese, where we do Brunello di Montalcino. With this one, we do the Vigna del Suolo that you will taste later.
Okay.
That is a single vineyard. The other goes in the final blend of Brunello.
Okay, so we're going to be tasting 6 wines. Where do we start?
We start from the Rosso di Montalcino 2019.
Okay.
Let me see if it's okay.
It's bad.
I hope so. My fault. And so Rosso 19 comes from vineyards of Sangiovese between 15 and 25 years old. We tend to use the vineyard that we have in front, right here in front of the estate, that is the Oliviera vineyard, as it gives usually the most fresh, fruity expression of Sangiovese. In the Rosso di Montalcino, what is the idea? We like to make a Rosso that is a very traditional, classic Sangiovese, so not a little Brunello. Completely different wine, fresh, fruity, gastronomic, with its own characteristic, not meant to be super complex, but very nice, fresh red fruit, cherry almost nose from the Sangiovese, and a nice acidity, nice freshness, nice saltness in the mouth that makes it very gastronomic, especially with our local food. So antipasti, pasta, cheeses, all that, it goes very well. It's what we used to drink in the past in regular basis, and now people drink less, but we still want people to enjoy more than a glass, just a glass of wine. And so
this is the 19, the vintage. When was this released?
In last year, in 21st, it was released after 9 months of aging in a big oak barrel, 5,000 liters oak barrels, and a little some months in the bottle. It's 19 that was a fantastic vintage. So watch out for when the Brunello will reach the market, because 19 had pretty much the same characteristic as the 16. Cool,
which was a very important
winter, yes. And long summertime with cool nights, warm days, sun rains here and there to refresh the vines. So you have complexity, you have color, you have richness, a good quantity in production, and at the same time it maintained the freshness of the Sangiovese.
So can I ask you from a consumer perspective,
right,
how much is this wine? How much is this wine in America, for example?
So it's usually what's happened is that this is extremely popular in Europe, very gastronomic wine. People here loves it. It goes very well in the restaurants here. So is comparing to the Brunello, the export percentage is less on the Rosso di Montalcino. Anyway,
because the Europeans are smarter. This is such, it's the Rosso di Montalcino. I think it's great value, especially.
I agree. I'm for example, my taste, I love Langhe Nebbiolo, I love San Valpolicella, I love Rosso di Montalcino, I like some Etna wines, so I like wines that have freshness, acidity, very gastronomic. Some people tends to prefer a little bit more full body wines.
More muscular.
It can be a little bit dry for someone, the Rosso di Montalcino.
So do you sell this? I mean, is this available in America?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much is a bottle in retail? Just so that I can understand.
In retail,
you sold it in wine.com, right?
I saw it last time I was in New York in a pizzeria in Brooklyn. They are expensive. It was around $55.
But that was in
retail would be 30.
Yeah, 30. I mean,
25 to 30.
This is such a great value.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it is. It's considering. It's made with the grapes that could be used for Brunello. It's made with vineyards that are treated in exactly the same way, aged in the same barrels of Brunello, just a shorter time and just differently to maintain more freshness, less and maybe less extraction.
Yeah, I mean, a wine like this, $25, $30 retail, great value.
Yeah.
Especially when you compare it to French wines.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
I think this is a good point. Is one great thing is still you still find in Italy is that the so-called second wine quality is extremely good overall.
But it's a paradox, right? I mean, in Brunello, Montalcino, you produce more Brunello than Rosso di Montalcino.
Yeah, the number...
I don't understand that, really.
They never wanted to expand the vineyards in Montalcino, so they started with a very limited close register of vines for Brunello and Rosso, and despite the success that those wines had, they never wanted to grow with volumes, and so it's still limited. The number is 2,000 hectares of Brunello di Montalcino vineyards only, and so the biggest part of the grape is used for the Brunello still.
Okay, all right. So let's go to the next wine. And what are we drinking?
Brunello di Montalcino 16.
And this was released when?
This was released in 2020. So this is
last year.
Yeah, this was released 2 years ago after the when the COVID started. Actually,
yeah. So it's a great great vintage.
It's a great vintage, and 16. Why it's a great vintage? It's a perfect kind of a perfect weather for Sangiovese, because the winter days were cold, over even chilly in January. Then in the springtime, some rains in May, followed by a summertime that was a pretty long one, but never too hot, and extremely different temperature between nighttime and daytime. These allowed to harvest in the end of October here, selecting the best parcels, the best vineyards of Sangiovese, fermenting them separately in cement tanks, aging them in oak barrels between 1,000 liters and 5,000 liters, and bottled for 1.5 years.
So I'm curious. So the new owner came on in 2017.
Yeah.
Has the winemaking, because this was on the cusp with the new owners, right?
Right.
Has the winemaking style changed? Has it?
It changed pretty much, as Argiano in the last 20 years had a history of winemakers, starting with Giacomo Takis, then was Hans Winding. They all tend to make pretty high in concentration wines and to age the Sangiovese in barrique. So the wines were rich, pretty powerful. While with Esteves coming, we decided to switch to very classic style. So when I say very classic style, meaning not too much concentration, try to be very respectful of the fruit, of the terroir, and an aging in barrel that is a little bit more gentle. So not too much tannins from the oak, pretty neutral oak aging, and wines that are probably also a little bit more long aging. We took as examples the Argiano wines from the 70s, that if you drink them now, they are still very fresh, very alive. So the acidity is higher, and the way we conduct the vineyards is with a little bit less density, and even sometimes some higher yields, just not to force too much the grapes, to maintain balance, the finesse.
Okay, what are we tasting next?
The Riserva di Brunello, so 2016 Riserva di Brunello, and this is just been released.
So you released it just now, because it's longer aging, right?
Longer aging, 1 year more in the bottle, not in the wood. The wood aging is pretty much the same. It's coming from specific parcels of Sangiovese, that is Vigna, that has a pretty high in concentration clone of Sangiovese. And
but are they not coming from the same parcel?
This one specifically is almost one parcel. That is this one.
Okay.
Because it has the higher concentration, so we think it's good to use that for the more long aging wine that we do. That is the Riserva di Brunello, and the fermentation is pretty much the same as in the Brunello. The aging process is in smaller casks, slightly smaller casks. We go from 500 liters to 1,000 liters cask.
Let's talk a little bit about the tasting notes. Just not crazy, geeky, but between these two, right? They're very similar, but one was basically it has longer aging requirements, right?
Right.
So in terms of the tasting note, like what are the main differences?
So in the Brunello di Montalcino, I feel it very classic nose, a little fruit, cherry nose from the Sangiovese, and then some spices, not too much leather, not too much oak behind, very fresh mouth. The Riserva di Brunello, comparing to the Brunello, does have already some more spicy leather notes, a little bit more complexity in the nose, some more oak in the background, and the mouth is a little bit more rich, more large. The Rosso di Montalcino is very fruity, very extremely fruity, nice, vibrant, fresh.
And what about food pairing? How would you pair these three wines?
So the good point to me in this kind of wine of Argiano is that they are not the kind of Brunello or Barolo that are very rich, very high in concentration, and where you need meat for sure, or big aged cheese or something like that. Here you can play a lot. Rosso di Montalcino, especially when it's a little bit chilled, you can eat it, we drink it even with some kind of fish, like the cod fish or bacala livornese, or the Veneto cod fish, and
but bacala with tomato sauce?
Garlic sauce. And chicken goes perfectly, and roasted pork goes perfectly. Pasta dishes is very good.
Listen, you were telling me that you worked also in America,
Yeah, right.
So what kind of American, like international food, rather, would, other than the Italian classic food pairing, because not everyone eats Italian food every day.
No, that's
right?
what I was.
So what kind of food? I don't know, tacos.
For sure, we did a tasting at in New York 2 years ago, and I don't know if I can make names, but we paired Brunello with Shake Shack burgers.
Burgers.
So it is when a wine is elegant, have acidity, have salty mouth, it goes very well with pretty much every kind of food. I would avoid Japanese food. I mean, especially sushi. But for the rest, I can go from pizza. The Rosso with pizza is amazing.
Maybe the Rosso, you can go with some sushi.
Maybe the Rosso, yes.
Not the Brunello.
The Brunello and the Riserva, no. Mexican food goes super good with
What
this.
about like Asian cuisine?
Asian cuisine, very well, except for the very spicy or sweet one. When it's sometimes in China, for example, you have, depending on the region, because China, it's like Italy. You go region by region, the food changes completely. Hot pot can cover this.
It can kill each other.
What I love with the Rosso is the fried chicken, for example. And
everything is good with fried chicken. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. You're right, especially Korean fried chicken. But another thing that I love is rice in general, especially South American rice. So my wife is from Dominican Republic. They make rice with beans and pork, and that with the Brunello goes especially well. And tacos, absolutely good. And of course, with the Riserva, you can already go for the classic also steakhouse and steak and cheese sandwiches, all that. But even the Riserva can be drunk with different kind of food.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm afraid to ask you, but there is actually another Brunello.
There is.
So why did you? I'm going to pour out the Rosso so that we can just compare. Why is there a need for yet another Brunello?
So the idea behind the Vigna del Suolo was to create something...
Which is where we've just been, right?
Yes. Was to create something that really, and in a straight way, speak you about Argiano. So when we thought about what Argiano here is, we thought about history, because this place is full of history. We thought about elegance, because the symmetry and the beauty of the Renaissance style is an elegant way of doing things. And we thought about a specific terroir. We have a special soil composition. We are in a different position than other vineyards. What was the wine that could tell you about this? The Vigna del Suolo is the most ancient vineyards that we have.
So this is your the most prestigious wine, right?
It won, was the best wine for Gambero Rosso Guide in this year. So
this
it was the
year.
best red of 2022 Gambero Guide, and it's a very specific parcel. It's made out of a vineyards of 65 years old, specific clones, all vines, specific clones of Sangiovese. It tells you about history because it's the oldest vineyard. It's the most elegant expression of Sangiovese, so it tells you about the elegance of Brunello of Argiano, and tells you about a specific terroir because Vigna del Suolo has the soil composition that you don't find anywhere else.
What about the winemaking?
So
the different terms of
fermentation is happening in cement tanks and the
so this is cement tank.
Yeah.
Not the eggs.
The one that you saw, they have a egg shape almost, yes. Mm-hmm. And then the aging is in barrel, egg shaped that you saw over there.
Okay.
So the Taranto.
So what about the terms of the volume? How many?
It's 5,000 bottles.
Oh, so it's
it's a small parcel. We don't use it completely because we use it still in the blend of Brunello di Montalcino. The vineyard is 4 hectares. Mm-hmm. What we use for Vigna del Suolo is just a selection of grapes, and we use the rest in the Brunello di Montalcino. We could do technically 20,000 bottles of Vigna del Suolo.
When did you start? What was
15?
15 was the first.
Yeah, this is the second vintage.
So you've started it with the great vintage, 15, 16. So
indeed, we could have been starting from the 14, but we wanted to use a big vintage for launching the Vigna del Suolo, and we started with the 15.
And what is the difference in terms of on the palate? What is the
what I feel it's a more complexity in the nose, so it goes from the fruit to some floral notes, mm-hmm. and there's some spices behind, but not too much. No leather notes. Here is very straight.
Yeah, there's no leather.
And what I love in the mouth is the saltness of the wine. It's very soury. It's almost salty, and this made it another great food pairing wine. The acidity is high. The longevity is great in this wine. The balance and the tannins. There's a lot of tannins, but they're very silky, very nice, soft feeling in the mouth.
But it's a tannic bugger, this one.
Yeah.
When you're making 5,000 bottles, I mean, how does the allocation work?
No, we just give to specific clients based on the notoriety of the clients, on this.
It's almost like a club.
Yes.
It's almost like the Napa Club, wine clubs.
Right. So it goes in some specific Michelin star restaurant and some collector portfolio.
So special allocation.
Special allocation, yes. But anyway, this is in US should be above 200 euros mm-hmm. for bottle. This is from 60 to 100 euros, and the Rosso di Montalcino.
Don't worry, if you get it wrong, you can't get fired because you're the boss.
No, it's me. No, I don't know. I don't make the price in the United States, but and then there should be around 25-30 euros for the Rosso di Montalcino.
Listen, so no whites.
No.
Will there be whites in the future?
No, it's not a great area for whites here.
I know.
I don't think we can make any special whites. This is why we don't do it. Maybe we could do a Vinsanto, or we could do some nice Moscadello, but sweet wines. So, but white wines, there's no. I don't think the specific terroir is good for white.
Okay. All right. So we have 2 more wines. I love this wine, by the way. We have 2 more wines, and they're, we can say, super Tuscan?
Absolutely, yes.
Because it's a Bordelaise blend, right?
It's a Bordelaise wine, and you know the history. The Argiano is in Montalcino. Montalcino, it's all about Sangiovese. 90% of producers do Sangiovese.
Yeah, of course.
Argiano in the 90s had a consultant winemaker that was Giacomo Takis, the father of all the super Tuscan wine. He went to war for Antinori, started the production of Tignanello, then he made Solaia, then he worked for Sassicaia. He came to Argiano, and in 95 he started to make the Solegno. Solegno, it's a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, 50%, with Merlot, Petit Verdot and Sangiovese. More or less is 20% Merlot, 25% of Petit Verdot, so it's a big, powerful wine, and 5% of Sangiovese. Some years later, after the Solegno creation, they started to make the non-confunditor, the NC, that followed the Solegno. It's like the Rosso for the Brunello. It's a Solegno similar to Solegno in terms of blend, because it's Cabernet, Merlot and Sangiovese, but much more fresh, fruity, lighter aging, maybe less full body, less complexity. Very nice food pairing wine also here.
Which one are we drinking first?
We're drinking first the NC 2019.
So this is Merlot, Cab, and Sangiovese.
Yeah.
What are in the percentage of the blend?
Cabernet is 50%. Merlot is around 30%, and 20% is Sangiovese.
20% on this one.
It's very fresh, very fruity. Yeah, very fruity. Red fruit, a lot of red fruit.
And this is a vintage?
19.
19.
Yeah.
How is the 19 vintage?
Extremely good. For both Sangiovese and Cabernet and Merlot, for all of them, was extremely good. Extremely rich vintage, but not too warm. We had a difference of times between night and days. We had complexity, good production, so it was extremely good vintage.
Incredibly fruity.
This is very good price for value. This goes, sometimes you can find even around $20 in the shelves.
Yeah, it's very good value then. And how many bottles do you produce of this?
We are around 10,000 cases of this, 120,000 bottles.
So I've noticed that you don't have the family stem here, right, on these two, because these are the blends?
Exactly. So the idea is that Argiano and the history is Brunello.
They all have the family stem, right?
Those are two brands that are almost separate from the history of Argiano, and we want to maintain this.
Okay, let's taste.
Solegno.
Yep.
Also here is the 19. This is really just released now. So
you just released it?
Just now.
And the blend here is?
Cabernet 50%, 30% Merlot, and around 15% of Petit Verdot and 5% of Sangiovese.
So basically the main difference is the Petit Verdot.
Yes.
Very small percentage of Sangiovese.
Petit Verdot is high in concentration and makes this wine extremely powerful. Solegno, you know the name Solegno is the name the local hunters here call the wild boar. So the wild boar when he's alone is called Solegno. The male wild boar when he's alone is the big boy, and the reason is that this wine is powerful and is pretty much unique in the area. And indeed, it's a full body, complex, extremely long aging Bordeaux style wine. Vintage 19 was again very good, as it was for the NC.
Much more tannic and
more
green.
Full body,
much more green pepper.
Yeah, this is the Petit Verdot that gives this peppery, spicy.
Yeah, just with a small blend change. Two different wines. Completely different wines.
Yeah, you're right, because the grapes pretty much come from the same area.
Except you have 15% of Petit Verdot.
And some old Sangiovese, so older Sangiovese means 2016 Sangiovese in the blend to give some more acidity, more push.
So listen, this series, you're kicking off the series with Gallo and their luxury portfolio.
Right.
So there's something new. This is the first episode of a series that we're launching because there's going to be some breaking news.
Right.
What is the breaking news?
I cannot tell you, but there
will be a rebranding.
Everybody is super excited.
Right.
And they are, Gallo family, they take care of every detail. They study the perfect way to transmit their passion about family of wines, about wines terroir, about wine quality, and so they are launching this new amazing project. I know it, but I cannot tell.
Yes, secret. Okay, but for the viewers out there and our audience, on the 16th of March, they will be making this announcement. So stay tuned and follow us and subscribe so you can get that news directly from us. When did Argiano become part of the Gallo portfolio?
Good question.
In terms of distribution and.
It was 2017.
So
2017.
So with the new owner, practically.
Right. Yeah, I took the decision. I loved the project, the LUX project, the portfolio of wine. They have the amazing Barolo from Ratti, Marilisa Amarone, and Piero Panzoave, Yerman. They put together an amazing portfolio. It looked like a very special way of being in United States market, so we joined them, and we have been working closer for the past now it's almost 5 years, so we are very happy of this.
So we spoke a little bit about the Argiano history. Can you tell us a little bit more about the family stem?
Right.
Because we saw it also on the
it's in the cellar here.
Yeah, in the cellar.
Yeah, right. So first of all, why this? Because Argiano has been going through different owners. The one who started was the Pecci family, different from this. Then Cinzano family. Then now Esteves family. So different owners. Why this family crust from the Gaetani Lovatelli family? Because this family was the one who was very important for Argiano development, since they were the owners of Argiano at the times the Brunello started. So they started the production of Brunello, joining Biondisanti in this, and they started to use this label
from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. So it became pretty much an iconic label for Brunello. And family members, the Gaetani, that is the wave here. Papa Gaetani was mentioned by Dante Alighieri in the Divina Commedia. Bonifacio VIII was the name by Pope as Pope, and Lovatelli, that is the bird here, the white bird. D'Aragona.
It's a dove.
It's
right?
a dove, yes. Yeah. And the D'Aragona, the eagle of Aragona. Eagle. They were count, and so they have the crown.
So what I'm going to ask you now is kind of sum up, Argiano.
Right.
Especially for the people who are maybe less familiar or they've never heard of you.
Right.
What are kind of the 5 things that you want them to know? Like 5 must know about Argiano Winery and Argiano Wines.
So
Number 1.
Number 1 is, I repeat myself, but it's history. There's not so much history in Montalcino as it is in Argiano.
Similar, yeah.
It is 500 years of winemaking, but more than that, the castle is really existing since the Middle Ages, and then transformed into this in the Renaissance time, and then went through so much history that history is a big thing.
Sometimes when you change hands in terms of ownership, sometimes there's a period when there's not a smooth transition, or there's a little bit of lost in translation, if you will, right? So number 1, it has a very long history, Argiano.
Yes.
And maybe people are unaware. Number 2?
Number 2 is what I love of Montalcino in general, but is the fact that if you come to Argiano and you look around 360 degrees, you don't see anything new. It's the nature here is still untouched. The beauty of the nature is something unique. It was very isolated place and has remained untouched by human hand for so long that is still you breathe the same air that you could have been breathing 500 years ago.
Okay, and number 3?
Number 3, the wines, because we went through so many new projects in the past 8 years that were all dedicated to quality, starting from the vineyards and going on with the cellar, with the restoration of the cellar. It's all led by the fact of producing amazing terroir-driven wines. So if you want to feel taste some wines that tells you about terroir, tells you about history, tells you about what we are, you should come here and taste the new, especially the recent vintages of Argiano.
And then?
Then we are pretty proud of our sustainability projects. We have been the first.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about because are you completely organic, certified
we
organic?
are certified organic. Beside that, we are the first. We have been the first plastic-free winery in Montalcino, banning all the mono-usable plastic. We have been doing last year carbon neutrality project. That means that we presented a specific study that studied all our emissions and our capacity of absorbing them. And this count was positive for us because we almost we are able to take back double what we produce in terms of carbonic gas and the gas responsible for global warming.
Okay, and lastly?
Last thing about Argiano, it's the people, because beside every winery we try to have good people, and beside every wine, but not only, we have a fabulous hospitality team that especially in the high season, in the good season, so from springtime to fall time, is able to host people in a very specific way that is think for every single customer. So you don't do a generic tasting, you tell us what you like, we organize something specifically for you, you stay here, you brief the history, you can visit everywhere, the cellar, you will be eating good food prepared by our
So there
chef.
is a restaurant?
There is a restaurant that use only local ingredients, only food from Tuscany, and you match pair and great food. It's a nice 360-degree experience in Argiano.
Listen, I would like for you to tell us a little bit about the hospitality here in terms of, you have also rooms, right?
We do.
How many rooms do you have?
We have 11 rooms in total. So it's a boutique wine resort, and it's 3 apartments only that have been restored using the same materials of the villa. So during the renovation of the villa, we used what was the wood, like here, for making the old woods to make the tables, to make the furnitures. And the agriturismo is just in front of the winery, of the villa estate, has a nice pool and relax area, has the restaurant, has the possibility to do bikes tour, horse riding, and of course to brief is made for people who wants to not only to visit a special and beautiful place, but to learn something about wine. So it's very related to the wine production, wine tasting, and wine exploring.
I had this pleasure of staying in one of your rooms last night. Absolutely beautiful, and absolutely, I think, it is very worthwhile to come and stay here, especially if you want to get away from, the rat race, the rest of the world, because there's nothing around. It's very quiet. So I guess that is it. We can wrap it up. One last thing is the cellar where we are, because, of course, we had a short tour before. What was the philosophy? Who was the architect behind the planning of the cellar?
So it's a great question, and I love to ask. Why we started the renovation of the cellar? We started because it was not possible anymore to age wine in bad condition like it was. So we asked to Filippo Scheggi, local young architect from Siena, who have been working in the Vatican, so he's expert about restoration, to restore the place, making it completely great to age the wine, to store the bottles, but at the same time respecting completely what was the history, what was the soul of the place. So basically, he started this huge restoration of the cellar, just cleaning everything, cleaning the walls, but leaving like it was, trying to bring it back to the gold ages. And the only amazing thing that he did is transforming, and that was very creative, I have to say, is transforming the old well that is over there and was containing water, transforming it into a vertical cellar dedicated to the history of Brunello. So he puts some circular stairs and that goes from top to down, and it's like you enter really in the history. You enter in and you feel this, and you feel the importance of the Brunello producers. It's not only Argiano, right? There are all the most important producers of Brunello di Montalcino who made the history of this terroir, show it there in the cellar, and we are proud of that.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not the cellar, not just Argiano. There is some serious private collection of French wines, and one area specifically of Ikem. Amazing. It is called the Golden
Collection. Yes.
Golden Collection. I've never seen anything like it in terms of the private collection. So, Bernardino, thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.
And I have my Argiano.
Cheers.
Cheers. And chin chin with
Chin chin.
Italian wine people. And don't forget to tune in for the next episodes that will be on Italian Wine Podcast. It will go live. It will be replayed after the Clubhouse editions. And there will be, of course, Brancaglia, Piero Pan, Allegrini, Ratti, who else?
Tornatore.
A Tornatore, new entry. You know, I love that family. The Mrs. Tornatore makes a mean vegetable dish, which I had the pleasure of eating.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What is it, all the vegetable dish called?
Caponata, no?
Yeah, caponata. I think best caponata ever. So tune in. I don't think she'll be on because I don't think she speaks English, but tune in and follow us. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. Mama Jumbo Shrimp. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.